You're tuned into news across the galaxy where they talk all things LA Galaxy with the Nag Boys. Let's start nagging.
What a ball for Ricky Peach.
Across the galaxy. Keep on nagging, guys. Your six-time MLS Cup champion, LA Galaxy.
We'll give Brian the reins right now, but we're gonna do this real quick before we get started because we're one for two right now. Edgar, in this cup, it's a soda. That's the only clue you get right now. Oh fuck, you're older than us though. Okay, when we were growing up, this was a very, very, very sweet treat. Now it's still around out of all those sodas, but it isn't as common. What's in this cup?
Sobe green tea soda, one of my favorites.
Oh, good God. All right. Brian, go ahead.
Welcome to News Across the Galaxy, where we talk all things LA Galaxy. I am one of your hosts, Bryant Lobos, and tonight joining me are my other two hosts, Edgar Campos. How are you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing good while enjoying my adult beverage, which is Cactus Cooler.
Yeah, I was the only one that got it right the first time.
Cactus cooler. You like the American version of Cola Champagne.
And that voice right there is
Orange
Mr.
Cola.
Edgar
That's a good way
Zuniga.
to put it.
How you doing, Edgar?
I'm all right. I think I've recovered from that watch party and watching the highlights later on. Let's talk about it because, man, I need some therapy.
And on the ones and twos, Chuyaso. Give us a little horn, Chuyaso.
Hey, what up? What up?
Oh, well, people won't be able to hear you, but he says what's up. There we go. And we got a special guest tonight. Brandon from LA Galaxy Commentary. How are you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing okay. My day got better because I watched Ventura County, and yesterday was just a complete disaster.
Yeah, 100%.
We have the Under Two initiative of Galaxy Podcast here with us today.
The U22 initiative. Lovely. So, Brandon, since you're our guest, tell us more about LA Galaxy Commentary and what inspired you to start this page and start this journey of yours.
Well, I first started as Worship LA Galaxy, where I made memes and humor through the dark times. Then around October of last year, I changed to LA Galaxy Commentary, where I started talking about about the Galaxy games, and people started to agree more with my opinions because I tried to be less biased and more of like, this is what we need to do, as neutral as I can be, like it's the most authentic opinion you can have, because if you're not biased, then you're gonna have an authentic opinion, and that's my whole point of LA Galaxy Commentary. Calling out the problems when they're there and just go from there.
Oh, I love that. So you're basically just only doing it on IG and TikTok, or do you have any other streaming services that you let your message be out there?
Right now, yeah, Instagram and TikTok. I do have a Twitter account, but I don't really use it. And YouTube, it's just there's not really much of an audience for Galaxy, so IG and TikTok for now.
Oh, yeah, that's lovely. Eddie,
Yeah,
do you have
man.
any questions?
Stay out of stay out of Twitter, man. It's toxic in there, bro. You don't need that. It's
I've seen it's infested with LAFC fans.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not gonna go on X anytime soon.
No. Yeah. Just be prepared whenever you do. Eventually, you have to go on there to, just for your basically your social media and your content to grow. Unfortunately, that's something we have to use. But yeah, man, it's dope. It's dope to see, someone as young as yourself covering the Galaxy. For us, I don't know what I was doing when I was 20. Definitely was. Well, to be fair, back when we were like 20, all we had was like the radio. I don't know if you ever heard of that. That was our that was our source, and it was limited. We had We talk about it when we talk about other people that cover the Galaxy, how awesome it is, how many they are now. Because we used to, even with the news, stay up like till like 11:30 p.m. hoping to catch a glimpse of some kind of Galaxy coverage now. So it's dope, man. It's dope to see. I hope you keep it going, and we wish you much success, dude. And we try our best, but if anything you need, just come to us, and yeah, we got you, dude. Because yeah, we love to see it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it so much. Thank you for having me. I was actually planning on doing a podcast tour again because I've grown much more since the last time I did a podcast tour back in I would say September of last year. So it's definitely nice to be on here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
I will say, guys. Eddie said it. I don't know what I was doing at 20. I could tell you what I was doing at 20. I was covering the LA Galaxy, just like Brandon.
Liar, you were playing with dinosaurs.
Yeah, actually, I was. Yeah, no, I was very, very fortunate, Brandon. I don't know if you ever heard this before, but I used to be the sports editor for the University Times at Cal State LA, and at the time, I was trying to see what I could do with my press pass. So I started just asking around. I asked the Dodgers and uh, all the different LA area sports teams, and everyone was shooting me down. The Dodgers were like, "No, you have to be like in a professional newspaper or something." And I was like, "All right, fine." And I got one for NASCAR, which I thought was kind of odd. I got one for the Long Beach Ice Dogs, which is our old AHL team.
Yeah.
And then the LA Galaxy approved it, and I was like, "What?" Right? I was like, "Okay." It turns out, well, at the time, I was not. In addition to being a sports editor, I had a column, and I would talk about just different sports. And the guy in charge of the PR, his name was Luis Garcia. His sister was a student at Cal State LA, and she would read the sports section of the newspaper, and she knew who I was. So when he was going through the list of people that he was deciding whether or not to get press passes, she's like, "Oh yeah, I know this guy. He's cool." And I was like, "Wow, that was awesome." So I
Aw,
was so
my
lucky.
moment.
I got a press pass at the age of 20. I was up in the press, and I was like amazed. Just like you, right? I was like in your shoes. I was
Yeah.
like, "Whoa, this is awesome." Covering the LA Galaxy at the time when it's like Eddie said, it was mostly radio. There was hardly, and the only time you saw him on TV was just Game of the Week or whatever, right? But the only time I ever heard Galaxy on the radio when it wasn't a game was Joe Tutino, and we've had him on before, and he mentioned this. He used to host a weekly radio show called Talking Galaxy or something like that. But that it wasn't really a podcast, right? It was just a radio show.
Yeah.
Um, but look at us, all these years later, and there's so many ways to cover the LA Galaxy, so many different voices, and here you come with this fresh perspective, and you have an. I would say for being 20, you have a very great delivery, very good voice. I'm very impressed. So just don't let it get to your head, though. Always keep improving. Remember, no dog ever pissed on a moving car. So keep moving.
What? Well, that's how you're gonna end that? Jeez.
Yeah,
Hey, nah,
yeah.
I like it. What do you mean? I like
No
it. I
feelings,
like
no
it.
facts.
Messages there. I mean,
All right, guys. Well, let's get into some MLS news. Chicago breaks ground. Edgar, you have a little bit more story on this. They were having a new stadium issues, trying to come up with a new stadium. So what's going on in Chicago with this?
Yeah, we had Matt Pollard on Wednesday, and we both
Yeah.
discussed it at length. But just to summarize it, 4 years, right? The Chicago Fire have been looking for a place to call home. They used to play. Obviously, they played at Soldier Field, which is I don't know what to say about Soldier Field. If you're an old NFL fan, you remember when the Bears used to play in there before the renovations, and it was already old stadium. I mean, this is a really old stadium. Imagine the Coliseum, but it never got renovated. It's kind of like that back in the day. And then they said, "Oh, we're gonna renovate the stadium." All they did was keep the outer shell and then built a new stadium in the inside, and it looks so weird. It's like a spaceship landed in the middle of the Roman Coliseum or something like that. That's what they did with Chicago, with the new Chicago Soldier Field. And so the Fire were there, and while they were doing the whole renovations, the Fire got their own stadium, but it was like way out in this place called Bridgeview, which is a long drive from Chicago. And a lot of Chicago Fire fans were like, this sucks. You have to drive way out there. And eventually, some issues went. They had some issues with the lease out there, so they were forced to come back to Soldier Field. and they didn't have very good. They didn't have very good teams. They didn't have very good attendance. And around the same time, Chicago Bears were trying to force the city of Chicago into building a new stadium for them. They wanted to use taxpayer money to buy a new stadium. The Chicago White Sox, who built a really ugly stadium. This is before like Camden Yards and all the other retro stadiums that were built in the 90s. The Chicago White Sox tore down their old historic Comiskey Park and decided to build a new stadium. Well, it's if you look at it, it's really boring. It's giving out a stupid name. It's called Rate Field. It's a really boring ass stadium. And so they're looking to build a new stadium. And so all of these teams are we're looking at this one plot of land just south of downtown Chicago along the river. And they were all saying we want the city to pony up the money with taxpayer, money in here so we could build the stadium. Meanwhile, Chicago Fire was like, they came in, they looked at the plot of land, and the owner's like, I can pay for it. And he just put the money down, and now they're building the stadium. They just broke ground this week, and they're gonna have a new stadium. Meanwhile, the White Sox are like, "What the fuck," right? And the Chicago Bears, meanwhile, they're even exploring the idea of either moving to Iowa or Indiana, which is crazy if you think about it.
Oh,
So yeah, that's what's going on with the Fire. Great big news for MLS. This is on top of the Revolution getting their new stadium pretty soon. Miami's about to open up their new stadium. A lot of good things happening around MLS.
yes.
Save the Bears.
Say what you got for us,
Let 'em
Eddie.
go.
One not an original, but one of the other clubs in MLS getting a brand new stadium. How do you feel about that?
Myself? You asking me?
Yes, sir.
Sorry, I didn't hear that. Oh, that's dope, man. You know us MLS sickos. I guess is what they call us. We love to see things like that, right? It's they're actually going to be the second team to do something like that, which is it's really dope because ourselves, Columbus, Dallas, and Chicago, I feel like are kind of the pioneers of like the soccer specific stadiums, and that's why you saw like stadiums built in Frisco, Texas, and wherever the hell Columbus had theirs. Or I guess New York kind of too, because they kind of got beat to it, but Harrison, New Jersey, Chicago's way out in the boonies too. And now you're starting to see little by little Columbus built one in their downtown, so they have two, right? And now Chicago's, I assume, I don't think you confirmed that, Edgar, where exactly where it's going to be. It's going to be more.
It's in downtown Chicago. Beautiful sightlines of downtown Chicago from the stadium. It's like the best location for, like I said, the Bears wanted it, and so did the White Sox, and Chicago Fire beat them both out.
Yeah, and it couldn't have happened with teams like us and the other teams I mentioned. So it's dope to see. You see we'll even mention. You hate to mention why I think LAFC doesn't get that stadium in downtown if we don't prove that it works. And all the other new teams as they come in now, they're getting their stadium straight into the city because the early teams prove that it works. So happy to see that Chicago. Because come on, you've watched some Chicago games. You're like, man, this is pretty sad, right? When it comes to attendance, and those are the main cities you don't want to lose. Columbus too. Columbus is also proof that it works, right? The Save the Crew campaign was happening, and I will be one of the first to say when I heard they were going to Austin, like, yeah, I was like, damn, that sucks, but at least hopefully their attendance is up or something. And they proved me wrong, right? They moved, and you watch the games now, and you're like, damn, how did where'd this come from? Yeah. So I'm happy for them. I'm excited. It's crazy to say that now Chicago is going to play at their third home, and I haven't been to either. So that's how quick they're moving along.
Yes, sir. Brandon, what do you think about this Chicago breaking ground and having their own new stadium?
I think it's great. I feel like when you're a team like Chicago Fire, you have to have your own ground. I feel like Soldier Field, that was too big of a stadium for a team like an MLS. I feel like an MLS stadium needs to be like maybe to 17 to 20,000 people, but a stadium like Soldier Field, that's a football field. So it's a football stadium. So that's never, you're never going to fill the seats unless you're going to have Inter Miami and Messi, but otherwise you're never going to fill the seats. So I like that idea of having Chicago Fire having a new stadium.
Yeah. Well, there is a few teams in MLS who have football stadiums and kind of fill it. Uh, Charlotte kind of fills their stadium. Seattle Sounders in Lumen Field, that's the Seahawks stadium. They kind of pack that, and then of course Atlanta. Uh, but yeah, you're right, Brandon. Like having a football stadium to play with an MLS team, yeah, it's too much of a. There's so many gaps when I see a Chicago Fire game. So yeah, I'm happy for them. So hopefully they'll start winning once they get their new stadium. All right, boys. Let's look around the league for some results. Anything that surprised you guys? I this one thing that did surprise me, and the only thing
Oh,
that is
one last thing. Sorry.
yeah.
I wanted to bring something up, and I sent a photo of this to Chewy right now. I'm sorry, I'm also late on this, but all the stadium talk reminded me of something that was a really hot button topic this week among other MLS people, and that is the expansion of BMO Field in Toronto and what they did, and has everybody shaking their heads. I don't know if Chewy got the photo. I sent it to him, but I don't know if you guys remember at World Cup 2018, which was held in Russia. One of the stadiums, they wanted to fill in as much. I mean, it looked kind of weird compacted. I mean, it's from Reddit, but um, yeah, that looks really weird. But what they did, I guess, in the south end of the stadium, they decided to throw in this weird erector set, and it looks real distended right here. I wish we could give you like the real full photo of it, but yeah, it's just there. It is. Look at that monstrosity, and tell me you would feel completely safe climbing up to that thing. They did something similar in World Cup 2018. I think it was in Sochi, and yeah, this is what they're going to have for the World Cup in order to try to fill in as many people as possible. Now, they had to do it on this side of the field, on this end, because in the north end, they have like a video board, and I think they have some suites or something. But the funny thing is, they had to like literally build this over a street that like, goes behind the stadium to fit this in. And when you look at other images of it, and there are some floating around the internet, man, you could not pay me to climb up into this thing, man. Doesn't look fascinating. I don't know what you guys think, but this is what's going on right now.
It
Oh,
doesn't
dude,
look
if you
exciting.
go
It
if
doesn't
you
look
go to
exciting
the
to me.
Sphere and you go up to that third bowl, oh my God, the
She, als-
seats
she also
horrible.
says that if you go to the Sphere and you go
They
up to
can
the
hear
third
me.
bowl, oh, they can.
Yeah, you're
Uh,
not. You're,
He knows what he's
Chat,
doing.
give us a thumbs up if you can hear me, asshole.
Anyways, damn. Hey, you know all I gotta say is, and you were talking shit about Josh Sargent. You see, Josh Sargent effect, baby. They need all those seats.
Oh my
Well,
god.
speaking of Josh Sargent and Toronto, the result today with them, I didn't even watch the game. Did he play?
No,
No. No.
No,
Damn,
He wasn't even
but
in the
Toronto
roster.
still won anyways.
Yeah,
they did.
that was a
Oh.
shocking win in Cincinnati.
Well, one of the
is it
results.
though? I mean, since he's not playing the prettiest football right now at
Yeah.
all, so I mean, as far as like there's one that really stood out to, I'm assuming, to everyone here.
The 5-0.
I mean, yeah, besides ours, actually no, two today's I think actually is more surprising. We were talking about it before we went on. The Montreal is wiping the floor with Chicago, right? We
New
played
York.
whatever. East Coast, Chicago, Philadelphia, all that's the same to me. No, I'm kidding. Anyways, yeah, sorry, New York FC, and we're talking
Oh,
about
Red Bulls. Sorry.
Red Bulls. Wow, I'm totally off. Sorry. New York Red Bulls. And we were like, me and Edgar before we got on, basically because we play fantasy, we're like Forsberg, Hobart. Those are easy points.
Yeah.
And no, they wiped the floor with them at home.
Ooh, that's nuts. I think for me, the more surprising result was the 1-0 San Jose. That team is undefeated. I think they've been shocking me so far this season in MLS. Who would have thought that San Jose, just adding Timo Werner, will have them playing at the spectacular level where they're undefeated
you guys just have hate for Chelsea that you guys he was the next Chelsea player. You're like, and I told you
I,
the guy was class.
yeah, I don't think it's that surprising because look at who's in charge over there. It's
Yeah,
Bruce,
yeah.
and Bruce will always find a way to get the most out of what little he has. And um, yeah, there are some losses over there, but they have a pretty solid team, and he's getting a lot out of Preston Judd, which is
Yes.
interesting. And but I think the result, the 1-0 result, is even more impressive when you realize it was away in Philly at Subaru Park, which is like a very difficult place to go and play and get a result.
Yeah.
Let
Brandon,
me ask you guys, being that you guys are Niner fans, are you guys ecstatic that the Earthquakes are doing good?
Fuck
they're
you.
not even from San Francisco. What are you talking about?
They're the San
Bay
Jose
Area.
earthquake.
No, it's like they're closer to the Sharks than they are to the Niners, man. What's wrong with you?
And
Yeah.
also, they're also closer to the Niners than they are to Los Angeles. So
Whatever, bro. Beat the Rams. Suck a dick. Brandon,
that's not what they chant. Why don't you chant what they really say?
that's what they say. That's what I say.
Yeah.
I think it's beat LA.
Brandon, which result in MLS surprised you?
Okay, apart from our result, definitely it was the Red Bulls. I watched both the Red Bulls and the Cincinnati games. The Red Bulls, I don't know. It's just I thought that Red Bulls would be putting like a 3-0 game against Montreal because it's Montreal, but to see that Montreal actually woke up and scored 3 away from home when they haven't won this season, that was huge for Montreal.
Yeah, 100%. Edgar, oh, well, you just kind of did you mention what game surprised you the most?
Um. Well, I no, I was just talking about the other one, but I think the result that has shocked me the most, I think, was the Orlando City one because what a disastrous start to the season for these guys.
Yeah, that's true.
Remember, I mentioned in the midweek how the home field advantage has weighed so heavily over the first two match days.
Hmm.
How the home teams have 14 wins, two draws, and only four losses, and two of those losses were home losses by Orlando City. And then they go on the road, and my God, they got completely destroyed. Right? This team is their fans right now. I was looking at their their responses. Some of them are in complete like shut it down. It's over. The season's done. And the other half are like it's okay. Everyone just huddle up. We're gonna be all right. We're gonna be all right. Where's the Kool Aid? We pass some Kool Aid around because yeah, no, this is wow. I mean, they're not in 2025 Galaxy mode yet, but they're heading there.
I mean, 5-0 is kind of a it's kind of a marker of them starting really bad. Um anyway, Eddie, you put down DC versus Messi here. Was there a specific reason you put it on
Oh
there?
yeah. No, it's just it's. I wanted to. We kind of looked it up. So I was like, I'm not gonna wait for Edgar because Edgar took a sweet ass time to log in. But just a feeling of how that must feel, right? Uh, I guess we do have a similar example, and I don't like it. It's just because this one player comes into town.
Mhm.
You play, at least for in our case, the Rose Bowls are like legacy, stadium. That's where we have history there where we used to play. But like in their case, is like they go out and play in Baltimore, just because Messi's in town. And I think I personally think it sucks, right? I was one that sold my ticket for the record because, again, I'm not gonna go crazy over one person. So if you tell me I can pay my season tickets by selling a ticket, great. But it was awesome that we got to keep it in our stadium, and most soccer specific stadiums are personal, right? So you get the better experience. And instead, they just worry about the dollar, and then they probably transfer your ticket and they put you way at the top. So if you want to see Messi, you see an ant, So like we kind of did it. We kind of looked at it. It's like instead of playing in our stadium, it was in the valley, right? So imagine having to travel now to go watch this game, especially we have fans like in San Diego and that far down. If you had to travel for for this game just because of this one guy. And if you didn't care about this guy, it sucks, you know. And I just want to see how you guys what you guys thought about it. The fact that Edgar, out of the off the top of your mind, do you remember DC ever playing in Baltimore, even
Never.
when Beckham was in
Um,
town?
no, no, they never played in Baltimore. They used to play at old RFK Stadium. Obviously, that's where they started. But RFK has been torn down, and the Washington Commanders. God, I forgot the name of that stadium, but that stadium is where the Commanders play. Is ranked every year as the absolute worst stadium in the
Damn.
NFL. That
Damn.
stadium it has so many issues. They've had sewer pipes break at least more than once during games, and it's flooded the fans and some of the seats with raw sewage, like poop and
Oh.
piss and
Ugh.
that kind of stuff. They've had railings break where the fans are trying to say hi to the players, as they're exiting, and the railing breaks and the fans fall over and land on top of the players. They've had chunks of the stadium fall apart, and the attendance is so bad that they literally tarped off chunks of the stadium in the northern end and in other parts of the stadium. That stadium is horrible. So for DC United to say, you know what, if we're gonna go for like a big stadium experience, we'd rather go all the way down to Baltimore instead of using this other decrepit NFL stadium. I can see that, but Baltimore is not only a whole other city; it's a whole other state.
Yeah.
Um, and this was not a favor for DC United. This was just MLS trying to get as much money as they could from the Baltimore area. And I used to live in the East Coast in that region. I lived in Virginia for a while, and there's a lot of Salvadoreños when you head up to the Baltimore, DC area, and that the Arlington area. There's a lot of Salvadoreños, so I can imagine there was a lot of pupusas, in the tailgate at that match. But yeah, this did DC no favors. This is just to pander to the Messi fans.
Ugh, how gross.
And to add to that, right? What I don't know what DC's attendance is like, or like how many fans they got, but what an opportunity missed too, right? To introduce people from the DC area to DC United. You know, some people might be soccer fans, but not too fond of MLS, just like a lot of people are. And then they come in and like, hey, this is a pretty cool experience, but they robbed themselves of that, just for the flash in the pan instead of trying to get a new fan and a customer for life. And I don't know, I don't like it. It's I don't know what else to say. There, I'll stop. I'm mad.
Yeah, it's sad to see one of the legacy clubs, a four-time champion, uh, not be able to keep up with the times, and like what Eddie said, trying to get new fans and get people interested in DC United. So I really don't care about it, but hearing you two, if I was in a DC United fan and in their shoes, I'd be mad, to be honest. Brandon, what do you think?
Well, I don't. Come on, in Baltimore. Are we serious? Like, I would have preferred. Here's the deal: DC United's field and the Washington Commander Stadium are literally minutes from each other. I think even if it's falling apart, I think what matters with the capacity. I think if you still had it at the Commander Stadium, I think you're still fine because you're still, as you guys said, you're trying to introduce to new fans in DC, and if you have it at the Commander Stadium, you're opening access to DC. Similar to how, may God protect my words, LAFC, how they did the one at the Coliseum where it's literally next to BMO Stadium. I think they should have ran it. I think DC should have done it the same way, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And it would have
I
missed
don't.
opportunity. Right? They could have done sponsored night with helmets and Febreze. Like you.
Oh, yeah.
I think you guys don't understand how bad the stadium is. It's called Northwest Stadium now. It's had so many names over the years. It is so bad that when the U.S. Soccer Federation put it up as on the list of stadiums, to submit to the World Cup committee, this stadium was rejected 7 years ago. It was the first. It was like the first one that they're like, nope, 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 nope. Immediately, it rejected. No, this place is a mess. It's a mess. Imagine like one of those like if you're playing Monopoly, it's like literally like that first one that you get where you're like, oh, do I have to buy this property? I guess I do, right? It's like the hood, not even the hood. It's like the equivalent of like the like that really bad project in the project, that one
Was it?
apartment where like the door is always open and there's like noises coming from inside and you look and there's raccoons running around. It's kind of like that.
Eddie's,
All
bro.
right.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, well, you got an interesting life there.
I've seen things,
Is
man.
it? Would you compare it to the only stadium that I've driven by and I've seen like, oh my god, it's like the Oakland A's stadium? Would you compare to that?
Yes, it's exactly like that, which is why like the Commanders are trying to replace it now. They've given up on that place, man. It's a dump.
I kid you not. Like the Oakland A's stadium is like dropped in the middle of a ghetto. I was like literally like a gas station. Like we're in sight of the stadium, and like the one time I stopped, I got off for gas. There was like a homeless person like pushing their cart across like the parking lot. Like it's just yeah, it's almost something out of a comedy, dude. It's like they really just put this here, and it's like just open like that. Like oh, all right. And this is when where the Oakland A's still there, or they moved already?
Nah, the Oakland A's left a while back. By the way,
They were still there,
the
but
the
okay, no,
owner
I'm
of
saying
the A's is
this
the owner of the San
was
Jose
the
Earthquakes,
earthquakes.
John Fisher, and he's a scumbag. He's like a skinflint, if you know what that means. He's like the kind of person who like will spend the bare minimum to, I guess, just run a franchise. He did everything possible to try to choke out the stadium, never renovated it, never did any repairs, never did anything for it, just let it decay and fall apart, which is why probably it looked as bad as it did, Eddie. Because um, some owners will try and invest into the stadium and the community, like the Dodgers. You see what the Dodgers have done, right, to the Dodger Stadium, where they they've invested into try and make it more of an experience and just go into the game. You could go and just you can walk around Dodger Stadium now, not even pay attention to the game, and just sit there and like drink and eat or whatever the heck you're
Oh,
gonna do.
they let you drink in the parking lot now?
No, I'm talking about the inside
Oh,
of the stadium, Eddie. I mean, Chewy. Sorry, Chewy mentioned something, but yeah, he never spent any money on it because in his mind he's trying to choke the stadium out and move him out to Vegas. And in the meantime, they're playing out in Sacramento, and they're not even called the Oakland A's or the Sacramento A's or anything. They're just the Athletics. It's a whole different mess, and it has people thinking about the future of the Earthquakes because their stadium is the smallest in MLS, and they're barely doing the minimum with the earthquakes, and so it's kind of like with the rapid situation. I think Matt mentioned that there's always the fear that once MLS reaches the total number of teams that they're going to get, that the ownership of the Rapids might go ahead and sell the team to the highest bidder, and there's always a fear that John Fisher might do the same with the earthquakes. So he did
By
that
the way,
with the A's.
on happier news, something was brought to my attention that I think it's pretty awesome, and I want them to do that at the digs at Subaru Park. They pre-match they drop little parachutes with hot dogs on them.
What?
That is
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
That sounds cool.
Imagine you're having a bad day and all of a sudden a hot dog falls in your lap. Oh shit! You
Oh,
know,
what the, oh
catch it with
man.
no hands.
Hot dog slaps you in the face. Watch out.
oh,
Catch it
whoa,
with
where's
no
the bun?
hands.
Whoa.
Eric Glizzy. Adam, I see your question. We'll get to it in a bit. Anyway, guys, game day. You have IE here, Eddie.
Ooh.
You were in the IE
Uh,
alongside with Edgar. Tell us you guys' experience. I saw you.
for the record, I was booing the game.
Oh. But how was you guys' game day experience out there?
It was cool, man. The IE people, big shout out to them. They're very welcoming. They're just some of the most awesome group of Galaxy fans I've ever met, and that's not even being sarcastic. Edgar could definitely attest to that. But it was fun. There was a cool little place, and though Edgar got a pizza too. The pizza was amazing.
Yeah.
That's for sure. I mean, all the positive stuff came from the people and the location. Not so much the game. They tried, you know, but, and it's not a Galaxy official, and they do their little own raffles and everything, which is dope. So the experience honestly would have been a lot more depressing if it wasn't for for that group.
Yeah. I took my son with me. partly to give my wife some time to spend time on her own, but also
Good
just
man.
to do
Good
something
man.
a little different with my son and have him go out there. And I've taken him before to watch parties, usually out here in where I live in Glendora, Covina area. But um, the funny thing to me is right is like you hear oh, watch party in the IE, San Bernardino, right? And then you hear San Bernardino and you're like, oh, it's the next county over, right? And then you start driving and then you realize, oh my God, it's an hour to get there. It's a drive. And I never really thought about it. I've had friends that live out there and I've driven out there, but I never really thought about it until you're in the middle of the drive and you're like, man, this is taking a while. But once you got there, it was really nice. It's a place called Escape Brewery. Um, yeah, they had a little room on the side. They had some really good drinks, and I'm not talking alcoholic because they had all kinds of different drinks. Eddie was getting like some different kinds of drinks that in different colors. I was like, wow, that looks interesting.
I got a
Uh,
lavender margarita.
yeah,
Ooh.
I got
That
myself
sounds nice.
this thing called Dark Matter, which was like amazing. I remember I took one sip and I was like, "Oh damn, Eddie, this thing tastes like everything." But I like nursed it for the entire game, and I was fine. The pizza was amazing. They had really good food. Because it's a gastropub, I get they get to experiment a lot with their own food and everything. And the crew was really friendly, very nice. And the bathrooms are cool too. I like the fact that they're shared bathrooms, but they're like stalls with doors, and it makes it move quick. It's not like when you're waiting in line. It's just boom, 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 boom. Everybody's coming in and out.
It's
So yeah,
I
it's a
think
really
that
nice, cool place.
I think that's not a good description of the bathroom. Basically, you get in the same line, and then there's just like individual doors, so you
Yeah,
basically get your own little room.
Like at Common Space.
there's several of them too. Yeah.
Oh, where didn't we go to a brewery when Willis got married? Remember
Did we go to a
that?
brewery when Willis
Well,
got married?
yeah, when Willis got married, when we went to go pick up the flowers, or what did we went to go pick up?
You went to a brewery to pick up the flowers. That's pretty cool.
It was next to. It was next to it, and the
You're,
brewery had those kind of
you're talking about
restrooms.
you're talking about beers and bouquets.
Somebody in the chat right now, Beers and Bouquet. That's a dope name, actually.
That sounds pretty cool. You pick up some flowers and a drink.
Right? Get your guy to pick up all the wedding shit. Is to just put a brewery right next to it.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds awesome. But
I mean that there's things that work like that. We went to Coachella a few years back, me and Angel, and we had to stop at the market. There's a Vallarta market that has two entrances. One is the bar and one is the market, and you could see at the market stuff like that. The guys just chill here while the wives and everything goes shop. Like that's interesting. And it was like a Vallarta. It was a regular like franchise market.
that's pretty funny. But shout out to the IE for
Yeah.
hosting you guys and for
What about you,
making
Brandon? Where'd you catch the game at? How was your game day experience?
I went to Absolution Brewery in Torrance. It was actually my first watch party at one of the ones that Angel City Brigade and Galaxy Outlaws recommended. And people were shouting because, obviously we went 2-1 down, 3-1 down, 4-1 down. People weren't happy. And, I liked my experience, but the thing is, I can't drink. So basically, I just went to watch the game.
So it's pretty miserable. You're like, damn
Oh,
it.
it was. Oh, it was.
I
Well,
mean,
Yeah.
it's
Next time
okay.
I'll try
I
to
don't
go
think
to an LA Riot Squad one. I'm trying to go to every single supporter group's events because that's just I love all supporter groups equally. So next time I'll try to go to an LA Riot Squad watch party.
I've been to Absolution. I think Brian and I, yeah, we went there like last year, right? A couple times,
yeah.
right? Absolution is a really interesting place because it's like in this business district, right? It's kind of warehouse, and then you
Yes.
walk in, you're like, oh, there's a whole bar in here, right?
Yep.
And it's unique, interesting seating there. I really like it when they have the mix where it's like a game, and they also have what do you call it, the pop-up shops.
Yes.
That's cool. I like when they have those. Um, but yeah, it's really cool how we have all these different places where you can go and take in a game, whether it's in the Inland Empire or down in the South Bay. Like I said, I'm used to going to games up at Arrowhead Brewery, and there's just different places. I mean, that's one of my favorites right there.
And that's something that, like me growing up and watching the Galaxy, there wasn't really much of that growing up. This is more like a recent thing.
Brian, growing up, there was no internet.
I know, but I mean, newspaper, word of mouth. There
Well,
was nothing
I
that was that, and I didn't know where to go watch a game. I
I
just got
I
it
mean,
on
can
the
tell you, by
newspaper.
the way, real quick, from just myself personally, I was, like I said, I was one of the original members of the Galaxians. We used to have watch parties for big games at John Bull's in Pasadena, which is no longer around. It was an old British pub, and it was torn down, which sucks. And now they built one of those El Cholo restaurants. So every time I drive by there, I'm like, oh man, they literally bulldozed my memories and they built a Cholo on top of it.
Oh.
yeah. Our watch parties were gathering around a speaker listening to Dios 20.
Yep.
Yeah, El Veloz. Rest in peace,
If,
Veloz.
if anybody listening and understands that reference, you're in the right place.
That's how
That's
old
that
we
radio
are.
thing we were talking about earlier, Brandon.
Tiro, tiro, tiro de
I
esquina.
apologize. I don't understand the reference. This is not the place for me.
Oh, he left. Eddie, what's wrong with you?
Hey, I don't blame him.
Well, let's get to the starting lineup. At goal,
No.
damn it, we had Novak Mikovic. Your four
You
defenders:
suck.
Maya Yoshida,
You suck.
Jakob Glesnes, Julian Alde, and Mickey Yamane. In the midfield, we had Edwin Cerillo, Elijah Winder, and Marco Royce. Your top three guys: Gabriel Peck, Joseph Painsil, and Jao Klaus. Guys, any surprises in this lineup?
I'll go first.
Yes.
Surprises, maybe. Frustration, a lot of frustration, because you guys can grill me, whatever you guys want to do. Winder and Royce can't start. It's one or the other. Like the way their styles don't work together. They're just there isn't enough pace. Winder is, I'll use the word solid, but he's not gonna give us a service. I don't understand why they can't do a Sanabria Surreal Royce, right? I just don't get it, right? Sanabria's an 8. He's not a 10. So I don't want to hear that, oh, because him and Royce play the same. No, it's not the same player. I just don't get it. It's like if Vanny just wants to fail on purpose. I don't know. For me, that's my biggest frustration. I mean, I'm assuming you guys feel the same, but we didn't really have a choice because of injuries. Yoshida was questionable. You know, with the weather and everything going on, I wasn't sure how Yoshida was going to do, and then we sure did find out.
Brandon, what surprised you from this lineup?
I agree with Eduardo here. Why start Winder, Royce, and Cerillo? I thought it was questionable when I saw the lineup because Winder isn't necessarily a box to box. I would think he's a little more of an attacking center midfielder. I think if you were going to play Winder, you had to run Sanabria Cerillo because it worked against Charlotte. And also, I don't get why we started Yoshida because I thought the assumption was going to be, are we going to use Yoshida and Glesnes for CCC? And, I thought, Hack was going to get his first start at CB because Hack is a better center back than he is a CDM. But I guess Mr. Vanny decided to run Yoshida Glesnes, which I still question why he made those two decisions.
Yeah. Well, the CC.
So on the record, you're saying Vanny out is what I'm hearing.
No, I'm trying to save my professional career here.
Brian, you didn't ask me, man.
I was about to ask you.
No.
Edgar.
Yes.
What surprised you about this lineup?
No, Brandon, I think you read my mind. Having Yoshida in there, I'm like, first of all, he's slow. Second of all, they're at altitude. That dude's gonna run out of breath pretty soon. I also, I was surprised that they started Royce in this match because, like I said, these are older legs, right? And they're playing at altitude, and I would think you might want to save him for the midweek game. Maybe start Eric Tommy, he actually came into the match later on. We got to see very little of him at a point where the game was already out of control. But yeah, I think those are two things that surprised me. I was hoping to see Hack at center back instead of Yoshida. So yeah, I mean, we got to see what happened with Yoshida later on, but we're gonna get to that.
Yeah, we love Edgar's extra sassiness tonight, by the way.
Damn, Edgar, sassy.
And then the first half starts. My bad. First starts half. For half
Hey,
start.
but by the way, Edgar, you wearing that shirt coincidentally? Just like we're like, I guess we're in season. Oh, I thought it was something else. Funny. Never mind. Go ahead.
Because of WrestleMania.
Oh,
Yeah, no,
you thought it was Sami Zayn?
no, the Rollins and it's cut off because you're cut off. Never mind. It's funny.
Yeah, this is a Mass Effect shirt.
No, it's pretty funny. Sorry, I'm not as cool as you. Anyways,
Well,
I don't
give
know
us
what
your
that-
first half take, Eddie, because you were pretty mad.
I was pretty mad. Let's see. Where do we start? There was a couple things that I was pointing out to Edgar when I was sitting next to him that I find interesting, and it's a common theme this season. I noticed since preseason, and it's about Peck, right? How Peck's I think I'm pretty sure he's a step slower, but he doesn't accept it. He doesn't realize it. He like reaches last minute for balls he doesn't get to, and then even his first yellow, it was a heavy touch, inside the box. So it's either one or the other. Like his touch and his judgment is off, or he's a step slower. I'm gonna go with a step slower because also I don't see him really getting past as many players as he used to. Megs and stuff, yeah, do happen, but like when he used to put his head down and like burn past players, doesn't seem to happen too often. So that's one thing I was frustrated with, and of course, the whole Painso injury. Oof,
Yeah.
that was not anything any of us wanted to see, and yeah, the obvious, right? This is gonna be the theme of the night. I'm pretty sure. I understand it was snowing, but Yoshida didn't have to wear his ice skates. He just looked slow, right? The old man Yoshida started to show there. That way he got burned in that play, that simple step over, and eye judgment doesn't seem like the quickest guy in the field. So that was definitely very, very alarming. I mean, I'm gonna leave some for Edgar and Brandon to go, but those are some things that I will definitely point out for the first half. And I honestly, last thing I'll say actually is I don't feel that Colorado looked very dangerous at first. And not to say that we looked very dangerous, but Colorado wasn't looking very dangerous at all until that play involving Yoshida. So I will, yeah. Let's pass it on.
Brandon, in that first goal that the LA Galaxy conceded at the 23rd minute, by the way, what did you see there?
Well, Yoshida, if you notice, he backtracked too much. And because Darren Yappy saw that Yoshida kept backtracking when he had the ball, he was like, oh, I can keep moving forward because Yoshida's not going to pressure me. And Darren Yappy keeps going forward until he sees the opening and puts the shot in. It's a lovely goal by Darren Yappy, but I think Yoshida has to be pressuring more, and that's his downside. We've seen it, for the last 2 years as well, since we signed him. He's not really the guy to pressure. Glesnes and Garces are that kind of defenders where they'll pressure the attacker, but Yoshida, he thinks that that the attacker's gonna juke, essentially, and he doesn't pressure at all.
Yeah. I think it was an error from Yamane in the midfield. He lost the ball, which kind of forced Glesnes to try to step up and make a tackle and left Yoshida on an island. I think that was a mistake. It wasn't really all on Yoshida from my end, but I'm interested to see Edgar's take on that one. If maybe I'm the one tripping, thinking that Yamane kind of messed up and gave Colorado the counter. Edgar, what are your thoughts?
I mean, as a former center back, I can tell you, it wasn't like this happened in the box. If everything you just mentioned, where Yamane messed up and Glesnes missed a tackle, and then Yoshida's left hung out to dry and didn't have time to react, then yeah, you could say, he didn't have time to react, he didn't have time to get in the position. But no, this happened way outside the box, and like Brandon was saying, he get backtracking, right? And like Eddie said, he did that. Yappy did that one step over, and from that point on, you could almost see that Yoshida was falling over. Right? It's kind of like he was like falling over going down a hill, and he could not stop himself. Um, this usually happens when somebody is slower and knows their limitations, and they know that if they try to step up and try to force, something to happen, that they won't be able to react. The person dribbles around them. So I don't know what he was hoping for. I think maybe he was just trying to just be an obstruction, be an object in his way until somebody could come over and maybe give him some help. But you're supposed to step up and either force the player to dribble around you or just knock him down or get the ball out of there. And he didn't do either thing. Instead, he just fell. He's like I said, he got put on skates, fell down the hill, and at the end, you see him lying on the ground while Yappy celebrating for the goal. Um, Also, I have to say, if you're Mitrovic and you're seeing this in front of you, you try to position yourself ahead of time because you already know what Yoshida is going to give you. So you try to step up. And I've always said Mitrovic is not the greatest goalkeeper. We saw what this other guy did. Nelson, I think is his name, the guy who came in for Zach Steffen. He made the most of his time, and he's not even considered like a top goalkeeper. But he went in there, he looked like one. Zichovic steps up, he could put in a save or maybe, create some kind of distraction, but he didn't do either of those things. And so the end result was Rapids are up 1-0, and they get that boost of confidence that they need against a Galaxy team that came in looking like like maybe a possible winner. And
Yeah.
from that point on, it was just
as
looking
as
bad.
someone that's played goalkeeper and the son of an amazing goalkeeper, that first goal not gonna put it on Mikovic. That ball does not is not supposed to make it through. You don't get to see that ball very well when that defender's position like that. So there's one that I'll give him a little blame for, the spill, but
Yeah,
that one, no, that doesn't.
yeah, I'll
That's not the
concede that.
that's not the keeper's fault.
Yeah, well, on my end, I feel
By the way.
more of a group defensive effort or lack thereof why we see that goal. Uh, I didn't like that they left Yoshida out on that island after that mistake in the midfield, which forced the other center back to make that tackle and leave Yoshida in a one-on-one. So it was a collective fuck up, if I'm being honest. On top of that, the LA Galaxy had chances in that first half to go up. It even tie the game. Off top of my head, the one that Peck had where his touch was off, and then the one that Painto had. Those two could have been, in back of the net. And comparisons from last week to this week, that was yeah, it was pretty shocking to me.
Yeah, there's something that Eddie mentioned to me while we were there, and I kind of noticed it, but I guess I didn't really like know how to describe it. But he mentioned that Peck has looked like a step off this season, which is weird, right? Because he did so great in the preseason, right? He led the team in scoring, but Eddie was like, "Hey, have you noticed this about Peck?" And I was like, I guess I kind of noticed it, but I haven't really like quantified it. So I started really, really paying attention. And there was that one play, and I was watching the highlights again this morning, and I stopped it, went back and looked at it like 3 or 4 times, right? Where Klaus is he's kind of like keeping an eye on the defense, and Peck has the ball on the right, and he cuts across, the top of the 18. And there's like a second or two, literally like 1 or 2 seconds, where he could have just passed the ball into space, and there was enough time for Klaus to get on it and get a shot off one on one with the goalkeeper. And instead of doing that, which is something that's simple, he decides to leave Klaus by himself and he takes a shot, a very weak shot, right up the middle, right to the goalkeeper. And I was like, why? Why are you trying to force things? You have Klaus here. Klaus is good. He'll bury that shot. But no, he went. I don't know if people will say, "Oh, the goalkeeper." The goal scorer wants the shot for himself. But no, you have an opportunity to get on the board for your team. But I don't know what the hell's wrong with him. I think he's trying to force things now at this point, which is weird because we're only 3 games into the season, and you could see that there's kind of desperation on his mind. Like, chill out, dude.
Maybe the fact that he saw snow for the first time kind of threw him off his game. Huh? What about that? Did you ever think about
it goes back to last year because we saw some of it too last year. I think it's desperation. There's no there's no secret that he wants to go to Europe, right? And he feels like he has to perform, and that's just he gets desperate and he needs those numbers, and he makes poor decisions because of it. So I'm gonna go with desperation. It sometimes seems like it. So
Well,
that
1-0 at the
is my
half
take.
is not bad, right? 1-0 at the half. I think everybody here is good with it. It didn't seem like the LA Galaxy was playing that bad. It was just that hiccup on that goal collectively. And the second half starts.
Hold on, let me ask you guys a question.
Yes.
Two questions. One, was it fair to say that first half was a little boring?
Yeah.
Kinda.
Yeah, right.
I
Right?
can see where you're coming from. I can
Yeah.
see it, but
So
yeah.
because I think that's important, right? Because obviously stuff hits the fan in the second half, but it's very it's very common with the Galaxy games this season, except one. Right,
Here's
there's
anyway.
a lot of boring football. Hold on. And then my second question was, and taking it from corner of the Galaxy because I didn't even put thought to it. This is the first time we go down in MLS season. How do you guys feel once we went down? Did you think we're gonna respond well, or you thought that's a wrap, or best was a tie?
I'll say this because I know the team has a more defensive minded mindset this year. I don't mind boring at all.
Yeah.
At
Neither
all.
do I.
I don't care. Get the dub or get the draw on the road. Scoreless draw on the road. I don't care. Put it, put the home, put the home team. I mean the home team over there. Put them to sleep. I don't care. Just get the
No,
point.
but it's different though, right? Because this is a boring when you're down 1-0. There was times when Bruce played that was boring, right? We take the lead, and we just or Mourinho ball, same thing. Kind of became boring at times. Spain when they won the World Cup, most boringest World Cup winning team ever, right?
That's how Chicago Fire was in '98 too. By the way, I remember that.
Exactly, but there's a difference, right? I don't mind that kind of boring, but we're not like boring on purpose, right? Because we have control of the game and we have the lead or whatever. This is just because we can't create anything, and it's almost like the Simpsons meme, right? Pass to the center, pass it back to the right, pass it to the center, and then like we can't
Yeah.
open up. There's no creative. There's nothing being creative. So
Well,
I understand your take too, Edgar, but it's not that though.
no, it brings up another thing, and maybe Brandon can jump in on this. Um, During the week, Matt sent me a bunch of questions asking me to preview the game for, from the Colorado perspective. And so he asked me these questions. One of them was like, if there's one negative thing about the team that, you would say. And I said, well, they still haven't figured out how to engage Paintsel and Peck into the attack with somebody who isn't named Ricky Puig or Mark Delgado, right? Because we've seen it. We've all seen it, right? Peck and Paintsel aren't doing the things that they did in that 2024 season. And we saw them struggle all of last year, where they were either trying too hard or they were just being pushed out to the extremities where they're largely ineffective. Um, and you have Klaus now though, and Klaus is going to be a disruptor in the middle. He's going to take some of that attention away from the wings, and this is supposed to free up Peck and Pinto, but they're not doing the most with those opportunities, and so that's frustrating too. So when they do get the ball, they go back to doing some of the same old things that don't work, and you can't do that. That's why it gets boring right there. Brandon, go ahead.
I absolutely agree with you. What I don't like about Paintsill is that, you see when we're trying to get on like the counter, he, Paintsill dribbles and then he goes to the corner. And then he goes to the corner and tries to dribble straight from there. By then, you'll probably have two defenders there, and then Paintsill will probably get past one if he can, and then lose it. And then I feel like Paintsill isn't technical. Peck is, but when it comes to Peck dribbling, they're always going to try to suppress him with two people. We saw how it happened last year, and then he couldn't get anything. So I really think that Klaus, you have to use Klaus. I mean, Klaus is a much more of a passer than Jovic was. So that can really help us, but I don't see that we are playing in the center, and I'm not sure if that's because Mr. Vani wants it that way and he wants to be playing with the wingers, but I really think that Joao Klaus can really be putting in assists as well because he's already have 3 goals right now. I think he can put more assists in if they give him the ball and at least try to play make from where he's at.
I mean, look at the two of the times that Peck passed the ball to him in the 6 goals, right? We saw that in the game against Charlotte. We saw it again in this game right here, right? Where Peck, launched the ball into the middle. Klaus was there. He's a big dude. Got up, knocked it in. Go.
That was
But
beautiful.
yeah, and I wish we could see more of that, right? But I think Peck wants his, and Painter's trying to still figure out, how to deal with these, with these one-on-one challenges. So it is frustrating, because, like I said, everybody wants theirs, right? But now you got somebody who can unlock everything, but you just have to chill out and figure out how to get them involved, and that's the frustrating part as a fan.
Yeah, 100%. Speaking of the Klaus goal, that makes 4 goals for Klaus in the last 3 games. A lot of people, including us, had some words about him having that DP tag. But right now, as it stands, he is pretty much earning that tag, and hopefully he continues it because we're gonna need it. Yesterday's showing was really bad by the LA Galaxy, by the way. If you guys didn't watch the game, spoiler alert: we lost. We got our ass beat. But yeah, we're gonna need Klaus to be on his top form because it doesn't seem like the other 2 guys are into any type of form, including Peck, who got a ridiculous red card, which totally switched the game. After you tie the match, you switch momentum, and then Peck lays an egg and gets a red card. Guys, what do you think happened in that play, and what went through his mind when all that went down? Yes, Edgar, I see you wagging your finger.
Oh my god. This is what happens when you're out of breath and you panic, and the last thing you do, the last thing on your mind is, I can't let this guy get away, and you do the stupid tackle. That's what happened. That's what happened. He realized he was not going to catch the guy, and so he just went ahead and like did something really dumb and like tackled the guy in like the worst way you can do it, and then didn't even. I don't think he was thinking, oh, I already have a yellow on me. But the moment it happened, and he just sitting there, and he saw the ref coming up to him, he knew what was up. But yeah, the game completely changed after that. LA Galaxy, I don't think was prepared. I mean, whoever is prepared for that, kind of situation. But I think in this game, they were still looking to try to make the game theirs. And at that point, you're like, wait, what? No, 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 no. This goes against what we were hoping for and planning for. This is not good. And then they have to completely reshuffle the deck and try to save what they could from it. But instead of relying on their defense, instead of figuring out a way to solidify that defense and try to create chances of set pieces and of counters, they completely folded after that, and that's the most disappointing part to me.
Yeah, well, let me ask you guys a question. Do you feel that after the LA Galaxy was able to equalize the score, that there was a possibility that this team could have went on a run and maybe got 3 points away? Let me start with you, Brandon.
Yes. At at the time of the goal, once the red card happened, I think Mr. Vanny did not he gambled on the fact that he wanted to win. He wanted to win because mind you, the goal happened 2 minutes before the red card, so the momentum of trying to flip the script over was still there. However, with how the LA Galaxy offense has worked this season, with how with their woes and everything like that, with 2 of your DPs gone, only having Klaus up there and Cuevas, that that completely changes how you should be viewing the game because Klaus by himself won't be able to create himself and score. So I think the changes should have been, uh, re-solidify the defense, try to get Sanabria in to help out Cerrillo and the back line. And also, Mr. Vanny at the same time, when taking out Klaus, the guy who has 3 goals for you, brings on Nascimento because he wants to save Klaus for CCC. So he wants to win the game, but at the same time, he wants to stay for CCC. But both things can't happen at the same time when you're down a man. So
Yeah.
it was just, it was weird to me, how he approached the game. I wish he could have at least tried to defend more, because if you defended more, I think we still end 1-1, and I think a point on the road, especially in snowy Colorado, would have been a great result.
Yeah.
I was
100%.
disappointed that he left Yoshida in there. Like I said, Yoshita's not that quick, and we already talked about his issues defending, right? And some of those guys from Colorado, they're not the quickest, but they're used to playing in that kind of environment. And people will say, you hear it all the time, playing at altitude until you've been there. And I've been there, right? I've been to Colorado. I've been to Salt Lake City. A lot of people don't realize Salt Lake City is high elevation too. Until you've been there and you've tried either jogging, hiking, or running there, after like a minute or two, you're like you're trying to catch your breath, and you realize like this is different. It feels like I'm on a different planet. And yeah, these guys are professional athletes, but they're not used to it. They don't live there. They don't practice there, and you try to acclimate as much as you can, but then you also got to take into consideration that on his own, playing at home, Yoshida is already having his issues, and then you put him in a situation like that where they're running at him and forcing him to backtrack and make mistakes. Then yeah, of course, it's not going to look good on him. And I thought they should have shoved him. They should have subbed him out. But no,
Yeah.
no.
Eddie, I'm gonna throw this question at you. But first, let's get
Shoot
to
it.
Adam's super chat. Chewy, if you could pull that up. Adam asks, my question is, was Peck's first yellow card worth a yellow? Eddie, take a crack at that.
I
No?
think so. But rule of the game. It is a yellow. Zero contact to the head.
Why
Could have
no,
been
Brandon?
technically could have been a red. By
Why
the
not,
rule of the
Brandon?
game, right?
The
So
first yellow.
I'm divided. I think it all depended on the ref's judgment, right? I think if the ref gives a yellow, fine. If he doesn't, I think it's also fine. I think it was more of a collision between the two because they were both racing for the ball. But the angle that I saw it at, it wasn't the best angle. So I think I trust the ref's judgment on this one. So it's up to the ref's discretion. I think yellow or not, I think it would have been the correct decision by the ref.
And
Two
then
words. Alan Chapman.
Alan Chapman. How mad were you, Eddie, when Peck got that red card and was sent off after equalizing the match and the momentum shift, and then he gets that red? What was going through your mind?
Pretty much. Oh man, I somehow saw it coming. I don't know if Edgar, you remember when he was chasing him down. I was like, "Don't foul him! Don't foul him! Don't foul him!" I didn't expect.
I expected that. Yeah, me too. I saw him getting away. I'm like, Peck's gonna make the tackle. And then when I see the tackle, it's a second yellow. And then the fans sitting next to me, they're like, how is it a second yellow? I'm like, it's the correct decision. Like
Yeah.
you tackle him from behind. You're stopping him on purpose. That's a second yellow. No question about that. That's a yellow.
As it is, Peck is not the best defender. He has no business going to the ground.
Yeah.
He does not, and that's another thing he has about his game. That I don't know if you guys have realized that before. When he backtracks, a lot of times it's easier someone stopping in their tracks, and he runs through them. He like pushes them or whatever. He does. It's very, very common for him. So that's why when that was happening, I'm just like thinking, don't follow him.
We all seen it. We all seen it from a mile away coming.
I didn't expect the slide. When it did happen, though, just you guys talked about it a little bit. It's like, oh man, we're gonna have you guys cooked Vanny yet? Enough?
Not yet.
Okay.
Nah, we just started putting the seasoning on them.
Let's get to that then.
Brandon, it's okay to cook Vanny. Brandon, it's okay. Sometimes you gotta hold their feet to the fire. It's okay.
Nobody watches this, anyways. I gotta say, right? And I say this a lot, is we're sitting here. He's standing in the sidelines, right? He obviously knows more than we do. But then to me, some of it is the obvious, right? You need the sparks. Yoshida was already showing, earlier. So that to me was a no-brainer. Let's bring in Justin Hawk, right? What did we bring him in for? Right. So why don't just to to waste them. What is this, WWE? And then obviously Sanabria should have been in there right away. I don't remember if it was right away, but it just put us. And I think I would have kept Klaus still, right, to either hold or. As much as I love Nasi, the experience of Klaus in a situation like this would have helped. He's only 28. It's hard to remember when you see that that beautiful shiny head of his. But just some of the decisions that Vanny's been making is just like, dude, what the hell are you thinking down there? What's going on? We're sitting here, you're down there, but yet we feel like this is what should happen, and you don't. And I mean that 4-1 result. And by the way, I want to ask you guys. You were I think it was before we went on, Edgar. You talked about like where was Yoshida? Any of you? And I didn't get the chance to watch the post game. Any of you think that Vanny somehow, some way, either told Yoshida to push up or have him in a CDM position? Because if you watch some of those replays, the position he's in when he's coming back, he's like next to Surreal. He's pretty far.
He
up.
was pushing up.
Yeah,
I think a lot of that happened though after that second yellow. For some reason, Vanny had him playing up there. We've seen Galaxy go into like when they did against Charlotte, where they had 3 wing backs, right?
Mhm.
But that was with them, being already up 3-0 and having that luxury of being able to dictate the pace of the game. But they weren't they were nowhere near that where they could gamble like that. I don't know why you got to put them up there and then have him like try to run back. He got cooked at least a couple of times on a pair of those goals. But yeah,
that was
I don't know.
nasty. 4-1. That was gross. So I didn't even get to watch it live. I had to stay offline. I got home like around 10 and I started watching it. I really felt like throwing up after watching that game, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
It was seen from what they did last week and then them showcasing whatever they tried to showcase last night was pretty awful. You mentioned Vanny earlier, Eddie, and what do you think he was thinking? Brandon mentioned it earlier. Maybe he was thinking of the CCC, the Champions Cup, looking forward to competing in that match and taking the win in that match. So maybe that's why those subs didn't come early enough. You don't
I
give
don't
a
buy it. No, I don't. Because if that's the case, then more reason to pull someone like Yoshida. You save those legs. You pull Rush right away. You save them. I don't. I it's hard to think like what Vanny is thinking. Right? We've seen. Wow, all these years we've seen interesting things from Vanny. And Edgar has been told that only if it goes perfect, it works out for Vanny. And granted, we won a title, but how many times have we made the playoffs since he's been coach?
I think we've missed twice, haven't we?
I think we only qualified in 22 and 24, right? We
Well,
missed out every other year.
And it's fair to say we crashed out every year, right? It's not like so and then again, outside of I'm not gonna take it from us. Of course, I love winning the title, but outside of that, winning that title is the crash out first round or just nothing. It's been a questionable reign for Vanny. Man,
the title solves it all, though. The title, the title solidifies his moment in the LA Galaxy.
I have to say this though.
Give him 5 more years.
This last one, it's only one game in a long ass season, but this result does no favors for this team at all. And I mean, it's a loss. It's a loss. You could have lost 2-1, and we've been like, all right, they took the out. But the 4-1, that's very demoralizing heading into this Champions Cup match. The fact that they gave some stupid goals like that second goal by Colorado by Rafael Navarro, where he was completely unmarked. There was like nobody watching him at all. Like nobody was even paying attention to him. And like I said, he could have had like a little campsite right there in that corner of the 18 and then he could have come out stretched, and then they would have passed the ball to him and he just tapped it in with like nobody even near him at all. Nobody noticed he was there until he took the shot on goal. Like, what the hell, man? I mean, when you're down a man, your head is on a swivel. Look around for people, you
Yeah.
know. And this is another thing. This is another criticism I have of Mitrovic. I've told you guys before. When you're a goalkeeper, Eddie, right? You look around, right, and you tell people where there's people like lingering. When I used to play goalkeeper, and I would see like some dude from the other team, kind of like just hanging out in a corner unmarked, I would tell my center backs, "Hey, look over there. Keep an eye on that guy because he's gonna try something, right? I don't want to have to worry about him. Do something about him. At least
So
have somebody near him." This guy was completely unmarked, and that's what really bothered me about that goal. And then the other one, the third goal, Kushida got completely undressed on that one. And then Galesnes, no, I'm sorry, it was the third goal. Galesnes was the one who got cooked on that one. Galesnes, we said all these wonderful things about him, but he looked like a fucking rook on that one. And then of course the fourth goal, that was all Yoshida. He just on roller skates
Yeah.
again,
Man,
hold on.
man
looking
down is
bad.
tough though. Man
Let me
down is tough.
let me let's go back to the second goal, right? I can pin that one on Yoshida too, right? That's one of the main ones where I was like, what is he playing? You want to put it on Mikovic, fine, but you also have to put it on Yoshida too, because go back and watch it again. So let me ask you guys a question, including you, Edgar. Would you rather have, and I don't want neither as the answer, a guy open on the penalty spot, open on the penalty spot, or wait, open on top of the six? Actually, it's even closer, or open wide, coming in wide. Who would you rather have open?
Wide.
What do you mean, like from the other team?
Like an opponent running in, what, the player wide or the player that's standing right on top of the six?
I'd rather on top of the six because the goalkeeper can react to it right away.
Ooh, my
I mean,
God.
if a player's coming in wide and there's nobody there, the goalkeeper has to like shift over. But then you have to like do something because the guy can either go far post
Okay,
or
so
near
no,
post on you.
all right, let me correct you there. So as a goalkeeper, no, dude, you want it wide because you can cover an angle.
That's
Right?
what I'm
It's
saying.
easy-
But
it's
but
easy-
if
you want
if a
the player
if a
wide.
player is right there in a six with you, you can react and put your body on him and try to fight for the ball.
You're gonna come on and they have either left or right to go to. You have a whole freaking go. When a player's coming in wide, you can cover an angle and make them choose, unless they do something special, So the reason I asked that is because again, I'll leave it to Mikovic too because I don't know if he yelled at anybody or whatever in that play, but Mickey Imani tracks into the middle to cover where Yoshida left open. There was a man open also on top of the six, so he has to make a decision. So it's hard to just put the full blame on Mikovic. I get it, you're a Mikovic hater. I'm not the biggest Winder fan. I get it.
You're part of the anti-Klaus fan before game one. Remember?
No, I still. Let me give you the correction there. Again, I'm the anti-DP contract. I will say it again. And I told you this at the brewery too. I don't have no problem with Klaus. He's just, I don't want the DP tag on him. I never did.
I should have recorded that conversation.
You should have. You definitely should have. Then you would have remembered it better.
Mhm.
The only reason why he's a DP to begin with is because of his transfer fee, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So I think next year he might get the TAM deal because the DP deal is only for 1 year. So if he can stay for max TAM, we get Ricky back. I'm fine with that. But because of the transfer fee, I guess
There.
Won't be
he's a
Ricky
DP
anymore.
this year.
You heard it here first. Eddie will like Klaus in 2027.
Also, Painter went down with an injury, which looked to be a hamstring. No contact. Yeah, he was able to walk off. He didn't look limping walking off, but it's early in the season, and you're gonna be down a DP already. That's
I am the
pretty
News
rough.
Across the Galaxy hamstring expert here. Yeah, if it was an injury, if it's an injury and not just tightness, those linger. So expect quite a few weeks with no pain till.
Damn.
So
Who do
hopefully we
have to
come out.
fill in?
Hopefully he comes in and we hear tightness.
I mean,
Oh, you know what? Wait a minute. Who do we have here to come in? This is a great thing to bring up that we forgot to put in the notes. The list of the general allocation money came out, and maybe we can pick somebody up.
No
So
monies.
for whoever didn't see that,
Zero monies.
the
Zero
general
monies.
occasion.
Right, Brandon?
Yeah.
Zero
Zero
monies.
monies.
I don't know what that means. I'm just.
It's a
'cause
pro wrestling reference for a pro wrestler called Pentagon, and he says cero miedo, but for us it's zero money.
For the
we got no
Galaxy.
gas money. The list just came out. We literally have $0, which this I've said it in the past, right? It's
Yeah.
it's a
We're
little
broke
alarming.
again for a
Yeah.
second consecutive year in a row.
Oh man.
Yeah, man.
We were catching strays, by the way. We were catching strays from the Happy Foot, Sad Foot LAFC podcast. We were like, hey, look, yeah, Kuntz is Kuntz, has no money again. And Galaxy was lucky, to end up with, the easiest run to the MLS Cup in 24, right? That's the only reason they won. And my response to them was like, well, LA Galaxy did what LAFC couldn't. And then I put that little gif of Paul Atreides, was all like, "There's nobody in this room who can stand against me," and they didn't respond, obviously, because it's
They
true.
hate facts over there.
They lost to Seattle. If
Yeah.
they beat Seattle, we would have had to travel there. So they didn't have the easy run. So we didn't have the easy run. We beat
Yeah.
the team that they couldn't beat. So it's like the argument
Eddie.
doesn't make sense.
What did Bret Hart used to say?
Fuck
I don't
over.
know.
To be the
I'm
best, you gotta
Yeah.
beat the best.
I'm from the attitude era,
Yes.
bro.
Yes. I was so happy about that Seattle game against LAFC. That was such a good hate watch. I thought LAFC was going to take it. Then Seattle came back. Morris!
Sorry, it wasn't Bret Hart. It was Ric Flair. He used to say that. To be the best, you gotta beat the best. Woo!
To beat
Again.
the champs, you got to knock them out.
Yeah.
Damn, there you go.
That's what they said for
Oh,
the
whatever. You
Dodgers,
can't,
by the way. That's what they said for the Dodgers.
you can't, Brandon. You can't argue with those guys. Just so you know, don't waste your breath.
That
Those-
little brother
No, I
energy that
know.
never
They-
goes away, man.
They appear in my comment section from time to time. I just let others do it for me. I let the
Yeah.
other people do the dirty work for me.
Smart.
Hey,
Very smart.
just feel, what is it called? Flattered because you're on their radar. That's how you know you've made it.
All right. Well, let me wrap this game up real quick. 3 games in, we're 1-1. I don't think we should be bringing the house down. Yeah, the LA Galaxy got dismantled in Colorado, but we dismantled Charlotte in our house. So something has to give. And I mean, I don't
6-7.
we're not in we're not in full form yet. We still haven't seen a full Eric Tommy game. We still haven't seen Justin Hack play at CB. So there's still movement to be done. We got to trust Danny to do the right thing moving forward. And it's still a long season, so let's just keep it at that. And now for our favorite. And now for our favorite segment. It's time for the awards.
Oh my.
Oh,
God.
no.
Oh God.
Sorry, Brian. Your optimism is so cute. I had to laugh at it.
We're gonna start off with the Game is Off award. And since you're our special guest tonight, Brendan, whose game was off in this match?
Okay, may this person not see this stream or any videos.
Go off, Brandon. Go off.
My candidates are either Royce or Yoshida. Let's see. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, which one will not see it? You know what? I'll just go with Yoshida. I think Yoshida was off, 2 mistakes leading to a goal, leading to two mistakes leading to 2 goals. I think he is the one who's been off most for the Galaxy.
Yeah, Edgar, what you got?
My Yoshida, man. I mean, Marco Royce, he was trying to create. I know there was at least a couple times in the first half where he made some passes, and I think Peck just took like an errant shot, or it just didn't work out. Or there was one where he got the ball into the 6, and Klaus took a shot and it went off the post. I think at one of them. So he was trying to do stuff. It wasn't obviously, we're not seeing like prime Royce, obviously, right? We're not seeing 2024 Royce who has the benefit of Ricky Puig to do a lot of the dirty work for him, right?
Yeah.
But I think Yoshida looked so bad in this game. I think he has like 2 or 3 more games like this, and we might not see him with this team at the end of the summer, I think. And as much as LA Galaxy likes to treat their players well, and we know the whole thing about why he stayed because of family. It's gonna be a very busy summer transfer window, especially with the World Cup coming here, and LA Galaxy will probably look at what their options are, even if it's some player from Cape Verde or some player from Uzbekistan, right? These are teams that qualify. They might be like, hey, you know what? Uh, we love everything you've done, but we got a future endeavor you. So
Damn. Eddie, whose game was off?
I mean, the honorable bad mention is Peck, right? Nobody gonna like.
I was actually gonna pick that.
Yeah, I mean,
I was
that,
gonna give it Peck.
but I feel like it's so obvious that that's why we went through it, right? The boneheaded mistake kind of sets us up to fail, right? It's just scrambles everything. But no, I have to agree because the moments, right? The moments that did actually cause us to lose, it was Yoshida. This is our captain. The word is called game is off. This is our captain. This is the guy we look to when times are tough and rally the troops and get us across the finish line. So Yoshida, man, father time is undefeated, and Yoshida's no exception. I mean, that's I'm gonna leave it to you because I don't know if you're gonna pick on Yoshida as well.
Nah, I'm picking on Peck.
These guys have already said enough about Yoshida, so I'm gonna leave your poor horse alone, Brian.
Nah, I'm picking on Peck on this one, especially because we had just tied the match and the momentum had shifted. The tackle was it was a knucklehead tackle. On top of that, in the first half, he had a chance to put one away. So seeing how he's our DP, seeing how we have to depend on him and Paint Sale, you gotta put those away when you have them, and he didn't. Got that first yellow, then got a second yellow. Complicated the game for the LA Galaxy, who looked like shit after that. So I gotta give it a Peck. That's where it all started. So he gets that game off of the award.
Wait, honorable mention, Vanny.
Oh
yeah. No wait, does he get the Geo? I mean, not the Geo, the BJ award.
Whoa! Hey! What kind of show you running here, bro?
Brandon, you heard the BJ award, Brandon?
Let me give him some context.
Okay, listen to this, Brandon. Story time.
So our awards are named after players, right? So Geo game is off award. You got Hartman, Kevin Hartman. Well, the next standing is because it's the podcast, but the BJ award is Brian Jordan. Do you know the context with Brian Jordan? So
Brian Jordan, former Galaxy player.
Yeah. So it's the bad job award. So it's like an honorable bad mention. So basically, Brian Jordan was, I guess, trying to spit game at some girl or something, and he went out to a LAFC game and was shoulder to shoulder eyeing with the 32-52, and that's why now. Yeah, you never seen this? Yeah, he did. Yeah.
My days.
He's the first player to get the first player to get the once a G always a G card revoked.
Yeah. Not even Delgado, who's out there right now playing with them.
Oh no, him too. He's got roots.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All right. Well, let's go move on to the next one. Go ahead, Brendan.
Mark Delgado was sent there. I don't think he was forcing the deal. I honestly don't know what goes behind the scenes. It's like,
but he looks happy. He looks happy, so we're mad at him. No, I'm just kidding.
We have 2 super chats we need to address real quick. I can address the first one real quick.
Pull that up, Chiasso Adams.
Yeah.
I get 25% of the super chats, by the way.
There you go.
Man, Adam, let me know so I can fire them off the show.
Adam, $5 super chat asks, do you guys know what season NYCFC's new stadium will be ready? We're talking about Etihad Park, located right next to Citi Field, home of the New York Mets. That's up in Queens. Etihad Park it's set to open in 2027. It's funny. Our buddy Bob Ventimiglia, he lives in New York, and he's been telling me about that location. He's like, I don't know how the hell they're gonna do with that location, because he literally went there like a couple of weeks ago and took photos of it, and You ever seen those wrecking yards that they have out in Sun Valley? You know, like, on that part of the of the valley where it's like, they have like those wrecking yards where they have old cars that are wrecked, and you can go and pick your part. Imagine just dropping a state of the art soccer stadium right next to one. That's pretty much what they're doing. It's like all you see up and down the street, literally from the stadium, it's just like repair shops and just warehouses, and it's like, damn. It kind of reminds me of what Staples Center era used to look like before they dropped Staples Center there. But this is a lot worse. So I don't know what they're planning to do as far as the neighborhood is, but I know that as part of the same, they're also going to have like a whole community and thing set up to connect it with City Field. Like I said, the home of the Mets, which is interesting. But yeah, 2027 is when they're opening up that stadium. Next Super Chat.
So missed opportunity, huh? Should have been like pick your park or Pep Boys Stadium. Yeah.
And then our next super chat from Mike Jones. Who?
Mike Jones.
281-330-8000.
I should have asked Brandon for the phone number. He was like, what?
Hey, Brandon, what's the phone number for Mike Jones?
Any of these references, or is just
Well, his phone number's 32. His phone number's
His number 67.
He should
be like, huh?
Mike Jones says, I nominated myself with the Game Is Off award. I didn't see the first half and turned into the moment Lovato scored. I didn't even watch the highlight replay, so listening to you guys talk about the match was cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. We made ourselves so much better.
welcome to
We
the
got another
podcast,
super chat.
where we
Yeah,
come
baby.
before you, so you don't have to.
One more super chat from Stephen Ma. LA Galaxy. Yeah, let's get it. LA Galaxy versus NYCFC and Dodgers versus Mets away day weekend at New York would be a dream come true. That would be kind of cool.
Especially if they played the same day.
Yeah, that'd be they shouldn't play the same day because then that
No, what I mean is
Yeah.
like the Dodger
They're never
game is in the
gonna-
day, and then you literally walk across the street to the other game.
Yeah,
well, I have them here. We had a pretty cool experience. Well, nobody here is really an Angels fan, but when we went to Seattle, the Angels played the Mariners too. So the day before we went to the Mariners Angels, and then we went to the Sounders Galaxy game. So it is a pretty cool experience.
Yeah, that reminds me of Seattle. Seattle is such a unique thing because Lumen Field is right next to T-Mobile Park. And I remember in 2019, my wife and I went out there. We were in Vancouver, and we drove down to Seattle. I wanted to catch a Mariners game, and it just so happened that same day, LAFC was there to play the Sounders. So I remember parking in this structure kind of across the street from Lumen Field, and I'm getting out of the car, and I'm wearing a Dodger hat, and this guy getting out in a Sounders hat, and we just like made eye contact, and he's all like, "Are you here for the LAFC game?" I'm like, "No, I'm here to see the Mariners game." And he's all like, "Are you an LAFC fan?" I'm like, "Hell no." And he's like, "Okay, good. No, fuck those guys." Yeah, fuck those guys. So, but the funny thing was that you could have gone to the LAFC Sounders game, and then after that, just walk across the street to the other game because of just the way that the games were set up. It was like interesting, fascinating. And I wish we could have more of that.
Yeah, that would be cool. We got another super chat from Adam. He says not to pick on anyone's.
I'm sorry.
You could not to pick on NYCFC.
Hey, let Brandon read this one. Come on, man.
All right, Brandon.
Go for it, Brandon.
Adam DC42 says not to pick on NYCFC, but that field looked terrible yesterday, worse than the previous games. If anything, I prefer City Field over Yankee Stadium. I agree with this. But still, that field helped New York City FC in the end. They scored 5, could have been 6 because they had 1 disallowed. But, when you're facing a wooden spoon team like Orlando City, of course, that field's going to help you. That field's going to help you.
Damn, that wooden spoon, baby.
Wooden spoon is going to be Orlando versus Philadelphia this year. They're both winless in 3, I think. They both lost all 3 games.
Jeez.
Damn.
Orlando's gonna get Griezmann, so they're gonna come back, right?
Oh, not
I
that
don't think
again.
so.
Griezmann
There's
in
even
Orlando.
rumors of Griezmann to Montreal now. That's
Oh
like
my god! Now he's just
oh,
teasing everyone, dude.
Fuck your blood.
even if Griezmann goes to Orlando, he's not going to fix the defense. He's probably not going to fix the midfield because he's a central attacking midfielder or a left winger, whatever he plays. He's an offensive player. He's not going to fix your defense, so it might barely make a change. I don't think they'll turn into a playoff team, but that's Orlando for you.
It'll put butts in seats, though.
Watch.
It will.
We're all hearing all these different teams, right? And at the end, he ends up going to like Colorado or something.
That'd be funny.
Like, what?
Well,
He'd
we got
rather have like a sunny area because of Madrid. Madrid's sunny. I think he wouldn't want like a snowy
yeah.
like Colorado right now.
He's gonna go to San Diego. Watch.
No.
No.
They're gonna
Opening up
rid
the defense
his
box for him.
contract.
Oh,
Dude,
no.
No. Don't
Well, we got-
don't put that evil out there, Bobby Boucher.
What's
I
that?
mean, look. Let's be honest, right? There's probably a couple teams on this list that we don't want to win, and then I think out of those teams, maybe San Diego would be the one that I would least be mad at winning. So at least if there's a move like that, the tides might change, turn, whatever the hell the phrase is here. So it might not be the worst thing, dude, if it prevents from certain other teams winning MLS Cup.
All right, I'm in with that. So we
I don't
got-
know. I'm just saying, dude. I'm trying the best out of worst case scenario here.
We have two more awards. The next one, the You've Got Hartman Award. Brandon, who had heart in this match?
AKA your honorable mention.
Your honorable mention.
Like who I thought was the best player, or like
Honorable
who had the most
mention.
No,
Like second
like,
best.
You have a not the MVP, but this person deserves a shout out too.
Ooh, there's not much to choose from here. Oh dear.
It's like, can we give another bad award instead? No.
The Yoshida Award.
Honestly, I'm going to go with Gabriel Peck because he had heart in that tackle. Yeah. I'm joking. Please, aside from Klaus, this one's a hard one because you can't really pick from much. I'm gonna say Mauricio Cuevas because he was probably going to have a generational game if Peck doesn't get sent off. I think the game completely shattered for Cuevas because he was being creative. He was sending crosses in when he came on for Paint. So I think he gets the shout from me at least before the red card.
Yeah. Edgar, who had heart in this match?
I'll say Julian now there. I thought he did all right. There was I think there was one time where like somebody ran by him and he went down like he got sniped and Eddie and I were having a laugh about it. But when he stays on his feet and he gets involved in the attack, it really gives his team like a completely different dimension. Kind of like Cuevas. We're so lucky. We had some pretty decent wing backs. And I think Aldo's one of those guys that I really look forward to seeing him mature more as the season wears on, kind of like Sanabria. Um, so I feel he had a decent enough game. Obviously not standout, right? Because like Brandon said, there wasn't much to go around anyway.
Yeah. Eddie, who had heart in this match?
Oh man, I am gonna give it to Winder. I mean, he's the one probably that messed up the least, but I guess that's pretty easy when you only give 5-yard passes and you're not that involved. So just because he didn't mess up as much, but I mean his involvement was limited, I'm still talking shit, even though I'm giving an award. Yeah, I just give it to Winder. It's slim pickings, right? It's gonna be a sweep for the next standing. So yeah, we'll go with
I
that.
think so. For me, I always like Sidio's work. I know he doesn't do the flashy stuff, but he does a lot of the dirty work in that midfield, and he's so fiery. I love that about him. So in this match, I mean, we probably could have seen more of that firiness.
Hey, there's a lot of surreal haters out there, and I am worried. Because it's fiery, right? I don't know how the fieriness and the competitiveness it is up here. He's a guy that if you don't really know much about ball, you don't really know how unappreciated that position is and how great he plays that position.
Yeah.
And I hope that he's very valuable.
Yep.
Especially in this league. I just hope that he doesn't get frustrated. He leaves us, right? Because that is a very real possibility.
Yeah.
Yes, good point, Eddie. I'm gonna mention something about that because, like I said before, I was asked before the season started if there's any player I think that might have a rough season or might regress. I said it was Rio because I felt that so many times last year he looked so frustrated, and usually, right, he's very, like I said, a very fiery personality. He's able to self motivate himself and keep going. But there are times when you could tell he just threw his arms up and he's like, I'm done. I'm done. You know, I can't take this anymore. And I feel like if he gets into that same mindset with some bad results, especially early in the season, it won't be good for him.
Yeah.
So hopefully we don't see him regress.
But I still like that fire. So I was pleased for what he did and what he could have done if they were 11. So, in our next award, the most prestigious award in all of MLS, the next standing player of the match, aka your MVP. Brandon, who was your next standing player of the match?
Klaus. Do I need to say more?
Yeah, 100%. Klaus. Edgar, who was your next standing player of the match?
Klaus, 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 Klaus.
Eddie?
It's gonna be Klaus. The only positive that came out of this game. I heard a rumor that every time he scores, he loses a hair follicle.
Oh my god.
Yeah, this is gonna
The
be
stress, man. The stress.
this is gonna be a sweep. Yeah, João Klaus, 4 goals in 3
Means a
games.
lot.
Put himself on the score sheet once again.
What the? Let Edgar show that camera again. What the
I said, you said every time somebody scores, right?
Edgar
Look at
had
that.
one.
Yeah. Yeah, baby. I don't score. I smash.
Edgar was putting up Cristiano numbers over there.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's getting there, man. Let me tell you, having a kid, woo, it does a number on you. And Eddie got to see that yesterday. Eddie, you got to see what it's like
Yeah.
to be with like
Yeah. Hey,
super
by the way,
Ezra.
gotta watch out for that dude. Ezra's a little Mr. Steal Your Girl.
Right?
yeah.
I told you, right? Mr. Blink and you still your girl. Oh my god.
Player.
I saw his little games and Meeny Miny Mo. Yeah, that was rigged.
I like I said, I never had that kind of like of confidence at his age. So I'm like, damn, where the hell did he get that from? His mom.
We got two more super chats before we end the show here. The first one from Adam. Do you guys think Jovic will celebrate the goal if he scores on Saturday versus his former team? Nope. He
He
definitely
should.
he should.
He should
Damn.
point at the box wherever the the FOs are. I mean, like,
Fuck you guys.
we now have a DP
Jeez.
forward. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. His next question. He asks,
Thank you, Adam. Thank you.
Adam, do you guys know how long Novak is under contract?
I can look that up right now. Just give me a minute.
Yeah.
no, but,
In
I mean,
regards In regards to that Jovic question, he should absolutely celebrate. He should take off his shirt off. He should jump over the sands, hug Cosmo, and just go nuts. Like
No.
because
Give Cosmo a rock bottom or like an RKO.
you know, what the hell? Take off his jersey and point it to the crowd. You know what the best part about it is, myself included, because the last time he did it, I'll stand up and cheer for him.
Yeah, I'll stand up and cheer for him too if he celebrates it.
Yeah, he didn't want to. He didn't want to go. That's just, you know what? And then after seeing what I'm seeing right now with the numbers and the moves and everything, I'm not gonna ride that "we won MLS Cup punished by the league" excuse anymore. We screwed him on that one. We probably could have figured something out. Like we're seeing a lot of signs that this isn't an MLS thing. This is a us thing. Especially if you look around and see what everybody else does.
Yeah.
I got that number for you. Novak Mikovic is under contract until December 31st, 2026.
All right, that's
right.
it. That's a
No,
wrap.
we let go of
Brady's
John
gonna be
McCarthy,
happy.
so there's no. We just promote Brady Scott. You know, JT. You start JT. You bring on Brady Scott as the second goalkeeper. Problem solved. You know what?
There you go. Edgar's
It's-
number 3.
It saves us a wage.
Oh, yeah, right. I can barely like shift my weight one to the other. My knee.
And
I
then we
wonder
got
how-
another super chat, and this one we were gonna get to.
Don't worry, check. Brandon, the check's on the mail.
Bad.
Chiasso, bring up that last super chat. Edgar, is there a midweek show for this upcoming match versus Sporting KC?
Yes, we have a midweek show, and our guest is going to be Chewy. He's going to be talking all about Sporting Kansas City in this match, right, Chewy? He's our Sporting Kansas
Sure.
City expert. He knows everything about it. He's got a press pass with them. Chewy is friends with Peter Vermees and all that good stuff, right, Chewy?
Hey, Chad, I'm just saying.
Sure.
It's either an hour of Edgar talking or an hour of Chewy talking.
Oh my god. No, to give you a clear answer, it's we have a lot of options for Kansas City now. There's at least 3 people, which is pretty awesome that I can reach out to. There's our old buddy Jimmy Mack, Chad Smith, and our buddy Juan Cisneros. They all cover Sporting Kansas City. One way or the other, you're gonna have somebody here on Wednesday talking to you about SKC. So don't worry about that.
Yeah, Chewy told me that he can name all. How many players do SKC have? I think they have 18. That he can name them all 18 by heart. That's what
Damn.
he told me.
Damn, Chewy. He not only that, he'll sing their names. He'll be like, like
Yo,
that.
Village, and then the other guy.
Yo, village. Imagine Chewy singing like that. Hell yeah! Like dressed like Pavarotti right there, you know, Luciano Pavarotti.
Damn.
Leave my friend alone. God.
Look at Chewy, he's laughing. You guys can't see him, but look at him, he's laughing. You know he's having a good time, right?
I appreciate you
I
producing
always
the
have
show.
a great
Unlike-
time.
Unlike these ungrateful nag boys over
We
here.
love you, Chewy.
And apparently the fairy dust ain't working for Ricky's knee, so we need to switch to something stronger. We'll see what we can
Hey.
do.
We hear a different kind of dust.
Whoa. Hey. Hey, I was just
Well, the
Oh,
twinkles and when we get the super chats, we need something stronger.
working. No, it was going towards me and it's working, remember?
You know what? I know which I got you guys for next week. I know what
I guess
soundbite
this
I'm
one-
gonna
I
use
don't know
for
what
that.
Oh my god.
There's that one. That one. worked? I don't know. I didn't even know. I don't have the headphones on right now, so I don't even know what sound they made.
Hey, what's that silly laugh again? That shit makes me laugh.
That one I know. That's my favorite. Oh, I had something to say and I forgot now.
Oh man.
All
Yeah,
right.
you know, I'm assuming we're signing off now, but one thing I'm going to bring up, maybe it's not even worth talking about because it's kind of crazy, right? With the World Cup coming now, and you're reading now that Galaxy's opponent for the next game in the CCC, Mount Pleasant, will be without 10 of their players because they're Haitian, right? Haitian players, and we have
Yeah.
the travel ban. So that's kind of a
Not we.
preview.
The government. I'm
Okay.
sorry. The regime.
There you go. Them. Sorry. I mean like the country. Whatever. You know. Not we. It's crazy because that's kind of a preview or an alarm for the upcoming World Cup. You know, what is that going to look like? There's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world. But anyways, to bring that up because now Mount Pleasant is going to be without 10 of those players. It's like, how more weird can this game be on a Wednesday at 6:30 where no one's going to show up, you know, not included with season tickets. So it's going to be a horrendous attendance, I think. And now you have, you know, we're playing plumbers last week. Now they're going to pick people off the street to suit up and play against us.
Basically.
What's going to happen? Imagine, I bring that all up now to imagine you put up a poor performance or
my
just
God.
not at all against this team.
Why you got to put that energy out there?
No, just imagine. It already happened.
Yeah.
Against
San
San
Miguelito.
Miguelito.
Yep.
Yeah, it happened already. So now imagine now with this added controversy going on.
I'll
Yeah.
tell you what's going to happen. At the end of the game, you're going to see Brandon, sign on, right? He's live. Everybody's like, checking in to him, and he's going to hold his mic. and he's gonna be like,
And it just goes to black. And it just goes to black.
His face is
minutes of
black.
Brandon trying to think of something and being like,
So these academy players, they have hope. They have I feel bad for Mount Pleasant because they won the Caribbean
Yeah.
Cup. They are there because they earned it, and the reason why they're not coming here is because of our band. That's so sad from Mount Pleasant because they're gonna go full force in the second leg for sure. Because even if we win 5-0, hopefully, right? Hopefully everything goes well. We win 5-0 or whatever. Second leg, they're gonna go at it. So like the first leg, you have to beat the academy players. Unfortunately, it just has to be done.
Yeah.
let's just hope that Jamaica suddenly doesn't say we have a travel ban on U.S. players, and like only 5 players can't go to the game, right? For us, because most of our roster
Damn.
isn't from the U.S.
Yeah.
But just to just as a quick footnote on that, I took a gander at that travel ban list, and some of the countries that are listed in there include Senegal, which is another team that made it to the World Cup. Brazil is on that list, and
Wow.
Brazil always brings like the largest amount of fans to any World Cup. So yeah, Venezuela. I'm sorry, not Venezuela. I'm trying to think of another one.
Colombia? No.
Yeah,
Ecuador?
Colombia might be on that list as well. So no, there's quite a list of nations. Iran, obviously, and at this point, we're
Oh,
wondering if Iran is even going to be in the World Cup, which is
How could they?
Yeah, how could they?
Iraq is in the middle of qualifying, and they said, "Can we please postpone this qualification match because our country is literally on fire right now?" I mean, what kind of a world are we living in? What kind of timeline is this? We did not ask for this. Nobody asked for this. Peru, like
and
Yeah,
also
agree.
and also Mexico has
Ecuador, I think, is
the
on this list as well.
Mexico
Mexico.
has right now their the cartels right now bringing hell
Yeah.
on the Mexican people after the El Mencho assassination. So that's also another thing. It's just the only country that doesn't have problems right now is Canada, and
The
it's all
Canadians
money
are
here.
looking at us and they're like,
They just don't make
damn.
them public.
They don't make their problems public.
Yeah, I heard
Yeah.
Justin Bieber hasn't released an album in a while. There's a maple,
Drake
there's a
keeps
maple
getting
syrup
cooked.
shortage. You know, they got their problems, Brandon. They're not perfect.
They
Yeah.
just lost the gold medal game to the U.S.
They
Oh
just
yeah.
they just overpaid for an American forward. You know, Canada's got problems.
One of their curling players touched the stone when he shouldn't have. It was a big controversy.
Yeah, Canada's not perfect. All right, let's relax there.
We got another
But
super
anyways,
chat, babe.
the real quick though, right? With the World Cup thing, the Winston Churchill quote, right? Those who don't know about history are doomed to repeat it.
Yep.
The World Cup has
Yep.
been stripped before, so don't be surprised. And it's been done in a short turnaround. There's plenty of
But why
countries in Europe.
would Infantino do that? He's buddies with the orange shit thing.
Nah, everything that's happening in the world, his hand's going to be
Sorry,
forced.
Brandon. We're just dropping all kinds of.
It's fine. It's fine. It's your podcast, your rules. That's
He
I'm
has
happy to be
the
here.
he has the internet. He's seen and heard worse, man. Relax.
Yeah.
One more super chat before we get up out of here. Adam asks, hey guys, any thoughts on unbeaten teams from both conferences? Who do you guys think will lose first? Well, the
Oh, I
only-
have to look this one up first. I have to look this one up.
I could tell you right now. Yeah, Adam asked, any thoughts on the unbeaten teams from both conferences? Sorry, Brian, I think your audio cut out for a bit. Unbeaten, San Diego, Vancouver, New
San
York
Jose.
City FC, LAFC, San Jose. Obviously, we all expected LAFC, Vancouver to be up in that conversation. San Diego continues to surprise people, even though we saw what they did last year. I feel San Jose, obviously, the biggest surprise there of them all. New York City FC is another surprise because I don't think they're as strong as their record shows. Even they beat the crap out of Orlando City, which is obviously a horrible team. Nashville obviously is a team that I think is going to be up in the conversation up there. They're a strong team. So those are the unbeatens right there. Thoughts, fellas?
I have
I
San Jose losing first because I
think so too.
hate them. Because I hate them.
Yeah, either San Jose or Nashville. Nashville, they have weak away days, kind of like us in 2024. So I think either San Jose or
Yeah.
Nashville lose first.
Yeah, I'm looking at the schedule. I'm switching into Nashville too because they play next week. It's gonna happen next week. They play Miami at home and then they travel to Columbus.
I think they can beat Miami at home
Yeah,
at least, not away
they
from
can beat
home.
Miami at home.
But that's CCC, and then they go.
Oh, that's
and then-
different.
that's during the week, and then they play. And then Saturday they have a short turnaround, and Saturday they play in Columbus.
Columbus has been they lost to Portland, and then they drew 0-0 to Chicago. I don't know. I don't see Columbus winning this game,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Columbus is not as good as it used to be.
Yeah, after Wilfred Nancy left and after the 2024 Leagues Cup, they just weren't the same.
And looking at the schedule, if it's gonna happen this week though, that's your best chance, best odds. San Jose is home to Seattle, and I forgot what the other team was.
The terrorist football by Seattle.
Yeah. Well, we'll probably see that first out right there. We have another super chat.
What if they all lose in the same week, just different times, right? Does it count like they all lost at the same time, or is it just who had the earlier game?
Who had the earlier game just for gamblers to win? Just for gamblers.
Yeah, seriously. I'm gonna go with Nashville. They have a 3:15 kickoff. Your next one, not too way later. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with Nashville. Nashville for 500, please.
Here, this is a super chat for Eddie right here.
West Treasure. Ezra's just a sweetheart.
Yeah,
He is.
Say it, Eddie.
Yeah.
Say it, Eddie.
I'm on to him. Ain't fooling nobody.
You put it up.
Lucky your dad was there, Ezra. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my god. Oh man, no,
Nah,
he's pretty fierce, man. He'll jump on you, man.
Nah, Ezra's awesome.
All right. Well, thank you guys for everyone that has joined us tonight. Thank you to our special guest, Brandon. Thank you once again. Thank you, Chiasso, for hosting and producing. Thank you to my other co-hosts for being whatever they are. Brandon, where can the people find you and your content?
You guys can find me at LA Galaxy Commentary on Instagram and TikTok. Thank you so much for having me today.
Yes, of course. Edgar, where can the people find you?
Yeah, y'all can find me on Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram. I just want to say thank you so much for coming on, Brandon. Remember you came up to me and you're like, hey, I like to jump on. I'm like, hell yeah, you're always welcome. So
Yes.
thank you for coming on and having fun with us, man.
Yeah, Eddie, where can the people find you?
You can find me at Coachella Weekend 2. I'm wearing this hat ironically. The WrestleMania lineup is looking weak as hell. If you plan on going to WrestleMania, use your money at Coachella instead, Weekend 2, and I'll show you a good time. But you can find me as follow pczl.peace on Instagram and on Twitter. Yeah, X, whatever, Twitter. And yeah, check out the gear. You know, more and more fire going to keep coming out.
Yes, sir. You can
Yes,
find
sir.
me as Bryant Nags on Instagram and Twitter. Chiasso, where can the people find you?
You guys can find me on all my social media on as Chavez Ha, Chavez JA. Pretty easy, pretty simple to find.
Yeah,
He said the thing.
Well, that does it from us from News Across the Galaxy. From Brandon, Edgar, Eddie, Chiasso, and myself, we're gonna get up out of here. And as always, keep on nagging.
And Wu-Tang forever.
Keep on nagging.
Keep on nagging.
I'm nagging.